All right, being live streamed. Got it. We're good to go. See my husband's messy desk in the background, mine on the other side. All right, cool. Let's get up. Let's get to it today, ladies. Good morning. Almost afternoon. Happy lunchtime. I have an amazing, good topic. We had a very good question come through the group yesterday. That is a pretty common question amongst those entering into the group, answering the questions upon entry and stuff. So I want to address it because it's something super important to keep us in a sustainable, just keeping our lifestyle and our goals and desires and our hopes and dreams all at a sustainable pace without feeling that burnout. The question was my schedule is full. How do I work my 40-hour plus week job, 40-hour a week job, and run my business and take care of the 1,010 other responsibilities of life and still find time for myself? That's the magic question, isn't it? It really is. That's that perfectly balanced day. I actually experienced this exact day of perfect balance yesterday, where I got some nagging household chores done and accomplished. I got some good yard work done and accomplished. I got a major project in my business accomplished, and I still had time to give my kids the well-deserved time and attention that they craved. By 3 o'clock, I was done with all of that, so that when my kids got home at 3:30, I shut down and I played with them. And I even had time to get all my prep work done for supper, so that I didn't have to come in from out playing with them outside earlier than I normally would, and try and get supper done in a last minute scramble. My day was well planned out, well structured, and everything went well. But how do we do this? The trick, you guys, is it really just comes down to building your business around a personal brand instead of a company or like a commercial business brand. Because who your personal brand is, when you build your business around that, your authentic self is the heart and soul of balancing it all. And it's why people want to do business with you in the first place and not your competitors. When I stepped into my authentic personal brand and stepped away from what I thought was my business, it just made everything flow effortlessly. I no longer felt that weight of content creation. The content just comes out of me because it's part of who I am, what I do every day. It's no longer forced. Like, I enjoyed what I did before. I still am doing what I did before, but I don't feel like the pressure and like I have to do it a certain way because that's how everyone else is doing it. I'm doing things my way. I'm doing things, showing up as me, messy hair and all. Okay. No makeup, messy hair. I'm just showing up as I am. And when you step into who you are as a personal brand, all the other pieces just effortlessly fall into place, like all the big business gurus tell you it does. It really super does. So with that in mind, working my business is actually what I do to de-stress. That's my me time. When I get to come into my office and just be quiet and have that undisturbed time to myself, working my business is what I actually choose to do. Now, sometimes that looks like plugging into a training or it's not always just content creation and focused on doing the things that I need to do to make my business run. Sometimes it looks like plugging into a training or even just reading a book that's self-development or educational based. I've done away with fiction a long time ago. I love reading books. I love stories, but if I'm going to read something nowadays, it's going to be something that builds my character, is self-development related, or is related to educational content with one of my 3 business avenues. Okay. So do away with fiction if it doesn't serve you in the game of progress. Unless, of course, your business is part of a book club, then never mind. Okay. But that, again, that's my point made right there. If you love to read and reading is part of your downtime, you can create a business around that so that your downtime reading a book is actually working your business. And you kill 2 birds with 1 stone. You can blog about it. You could run with a book club thing. Blog book reviews, do YouTube videos on those book reviews. You could do podcasts on those book reviews. Product reviews are huge YouTube hits. Okay. Plus you can put affiliate links in there and possibly generate some income there too. You can go live on Facebook and it could just be as simple as, this is what I'm reading right now. This is what I think about it so far. Do you love it or hate it? Your call to action would be join my group, join my book club, join my group where we share about books. What are we reading? It's a community of book lovers. Okay. My next suggestion is to automate as much as possible. How do we do this? Well, I'm going to use my fertility tracking instruction business as an example here because it's cut and dry. You can really see the simplicity and the value in it. So before I had a website, okay, no website involved here, I would still be engaging in my conversations via Messenger, like I teach you guys to do, with the people that I've been talking to in the groups I'm in that I'm teaching you to do. When they're ready, I would get their email and then I would send them a welcome message that I had prepared in Word. So I could just copy and paste that to an email. Now in that first email, I would give just a brief thank you for your interest in learning to track your fertility, a little bit about me and why I do what I do. And then I'd lay out the process of what instruction will look like. Spend this much time here, that much time. These are when we have our meetings, yada, yada, yada. And then if that feels like a good fit, I always put that in there, ask them for the sale. If that feels like a good fit, here's my PayPal link. My fee is this. Fill out the attached client intake form that I have. Send that as an attachment. And then from there, I'd have to babysit my email waiting for that payment to come through. So then I could respond by letting them know I got it and ask when they want to start. So then we would then set up our meeting time for that first instruction. It was super laborious, very time consuming, and I had to do every step every time. Now, through my certification with the fertility awareness instruction, I'm required to teach from 2 different PowerPoint presentations during the learning process that I'm given from my headquarters. The first one takes me 2 hours to get through. The next one is a review that takes me another hour to go through. So that's automatically 3 hours of my time spent with a new client. On top of every 2 to 4 week chart review meetings that last anywhere between 30 to 60 minutes. And I do that for 3 to 6 months. Typically, it's however long they need until they are charting on their own with confidence and not needing my services anymore. What?
Can we play hide and seek?
Can you wait till I'm done with my talk real quick and then we'll play hide and seek? Okay, you go hide. And I'll come find you when I'm done here. Hide and seek is happening over here. Anyway, so every 2 to 4 weeks, chart reviews, 30 to 60 minutes there until for 3 to 6 month time period, depending on how Okay, well, we'll talk about this in a minute, okay? Until they're charting on their own. This was a huge amount of time. Okay, so that limited the amount of couples that I could take on because I don't want to be committed to running these meetings all day, every day, especially when most of them want to meet on the weeknights and weekends when that's family time for me. I work my business as in off time hours. It's either early in the morning, little snippets like today in my afternoon, or after the kids have gone to bed, like 9, 10 o'clock. My evenings from after school till bedtime is family time. In the summertime, it's different, but wintertime, those are my boundaries. I don't want to be working my business between 3:30 and 8:30, after or before. So anyways, again, that limited how many couples I could take on, which limits my income and capabilities, right? And who wants that? I don't want to have a ceiling or an income cap for growth. I want to be able to expand with no limits. Okay, my personality type really values freedom. I don't like restriction and limits. So I digitized and automated this process. How I did that was I recorded myself doing these presentations that I have to do because it's the same presentation that I went through every single couple. So I just digitized it. I created a vault in my Attract Well website to deliver that content, those videos as a course. So on my website, I have a page set up that goes over all the talking points that I would used to have to speak about manually in the messenger conversation. So it outlays the frequently asked questions that I get from people. It lays out the instruction process and what it all looks like, right? Everything that I used to have to discuss in the messenger conversation. Now I can just say, hey, you're interested in learning. Here's a link for all the info that you need. Look it over and let me know if you have any further questions. I've now saved my time of having those conversations while still being helpful to this person. So I haven't devalued my service to them. I've saved myself some time while still delivering the information and the service. Then they go to that page. There's a link to start instruction with me. The payment is taken right there on the spot. Once that payment processes, it automatically generates the email that delivers my client intake form and allows the customer to access their vault and get started on that course right away. So it's even more convenient for them. They can get started right whenever they want to. They don't have to wait until it fits into our schedules to meet together. They can view those videos at their own convenience. And instead of trying to set aside a 2-hour chunk of their day to watch them, I broke them all down by each section. So now they can grab onto the content in 5 to 10 minute increments. Then once they get through all of the videos, my website automatically prompts them to contact me with any questions. And then it also tells them to schedule their chart review with me 2 weeks out. So what does that look like with Young Living? Okay, well, you guys, I have about 10 years worth of content created between class scripts and social media posts, over 50 blogs already done. So more than likely, when someone asks me a question in my messenger conversations and comments, group comments and such, I probably have content already created about that I can just say, hey, I have this blog about just that. Here you go. Let me know if you have any other questions. Then I can also direct them to the Swap It Savvy group. That group has the guide section. It's going to act as the same way as we fill it with more course content, okay? So as I move all my other group stuff into that group, that will serve you guys very well. Say, hey, you know what? Just jump in this group and check out guide whatever. They'll answer all your questions, okay? This May 22nd event that we're doing will also go in the guides. So again, that is for any beginner person who is not yet in Young Living or has just started with Young Living, May 22nd, it's the Beginner's Guide to Natural Living event. We're going to follow that up with, so that's going to be a Zoom. We're going to follow up that with content in the Swap Is Savvy group called 31 Days of DIYs. And that's all going to live there in that group. So now every person who wants information on getting started in the future can just be directed to those 2 resources, and they'll be on their way without you having to hold their hand for every little thing. This is where your messaging 5 people a day comes in, okay? Because you can't just sign these people up and then ghost them, okay, right? You need to be checking in with them and actively showing up as a helpful resource for them in case they get stuck somewhere or just end up in overwhelm and then they quit. If they quit, that's not helping them through their problem. We need to make sure that they're finding help. So that's our job. When you help someone create a Young Living account, it better not be for the money. It better be for the service you're offering to help them through whatever problem they have. Okay. So that's how you do this, guys. You make your business evergreen, meaning renewable. It does not get outdated. And you automate things. That will help create your balance where you can have your cake and eat it too. Yes, it takes time on the front end to get started, okay? But just keep swimming. Get one thing done at a time and maybe outsource things as you can afford, okay? Sometimes we just can't afford not to outsource a project. Sometimes we need to bring in like a virtual assistant and just pay them to do something for you. Or sometimes outsourcing could be graphics. There's lots of, especially with Young Living, there's lots of different programs that you can subscribe to and they create content for you. CinchShare, the program that I use to schedule out my posts, which is another way I have automated my business, they actually have quite an extensive library of post ideas that you can personalize and schedule out for yourself. Okay. Now, if you don't have an immediately available shareable resource to help someone with their question, that better be the next thing you create. That's how I learn how I generate my blogs. If somebody asks me a question and I don't have a blog about it, that's the next blog I write. That gets bumped top priority because someone needs it. Doesn't matter how much I want to create the other blogs. Someone needs that topic right then and there. That's the one I create, and I create it as soon as possible so that I can get it to them as soon as possible. Okay. Don't keep this stuff to yourself. It's selfish not to share your goodies. Okay. You could be exactly what someone is needing in their life right now. Just showing up as yourself. Right. So you guys, if you need more help hunkering down on that personal brand, you can try Martha's Bat Signal Workshop. I'll put the link to in the description of this video. The website that I have that makes all the automation process super easy is Attractwell or Get Oiling if you're oily specific, just because they've got some already done for you campaigns, email campaigns that you can use. Sorry, I'm kind of losing my train of thought here. Okay, so I hope that was helpful to you guys. Seriously, it all just revolves around that personal brand instead of trying to build a business around a commercial idea or concept. Okay, so with that, have a great rest of your day.